friends, welcome back to my channel. We are going to go through our get ready with me now that I've taken a makeup class. I know I just filmed one for you guys on how I used to do it. So now I'm gonna film one with all of the tips that I learned from my makeup class. It was a 5-hour makeup class, and let me tell you, I was doing things differently. And so I'm gonna do my makeup routine and incorporate all of the lessons that I learned from the makeup class. It's still gonna be a very natural makeup because it's my daily makeup, but I am gonna incorporate techniques and different things that I learned and share that with you guys today. All right guys, so I already prepped my skin, same skin prep as last time, using the Pixi primer oil, vitamin C, and it's the same primer oil that I used last time, but you are supposed to shake it, which is something that I didn't say to do last time. So first things first, we're going to prime our face. And now the makeup artist, Ricky, actually showed me that to prime your face, he likes to use a brush rather than our fingers because we tend to touch a lot of things from our makeup items, our bags. And so he has a specific brush that he'll use for oil, skin preps, whatever it may be. Drop it directly in the brush like he taught. And then we'll just apply some on our skin. So this primer oil I really like because it does have vitamin C, and I'm really trying not to add things to my skin that aren't good for my skin. Even with makeup, I try to use lightweight makeups with good formulas, nothing too heavy, nothing too greasy. Step one from the makeup professional. All right, next, after primer, we're just gonna go ahead and let that dry a little bit until it's tacky. And then he recommends, rather than how I start with foundation, to start with your eyebrows. So we're gonna start with the eyebrows and start with the eyes. That way, if there's any mistakes, we can wipe it off. Is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Is this upside down? No, it's not. And I am using the color dark brown. Don't mind my calluses. We're going in and we are brushing out our brows. And then we're going to line right under our brows, following the natural shape. So I'm just going right here, going under, following that brow shape. And it's okay if it gets messy because we will clean it up with concealer. Just like that. So creating that under eye shape and following this line. I do this a little differently, and I'm still gonna do it this way just because I like that shape of my brow, but I like to flick up and create little strokes. Now in the class, they used a pomade rather than a pencil, but we're just gonna do the same thing. Draw the top out, create that upper line, and go down, and fill her in. Taught in the class to only fill in to about halfway, and in that front portion just brush it out. And I think that was the biggest takeaway from this class, was if you ever feel like your brow is too dark, you can just brush it out. You can see this a little darker, probably to halfway, and then I will start brushing up, and it will take that color from that bottom line and create more of an ombre. Now, I also realized that I need to darken my ends a little more because those go first. They disappear so quickly. Alrighty. So, brows next. We are going to take our concealer. Okay, so you can use any brush, but I like this one with the flat top. And this is the same brush you can use for eyeliner wings, but just something that's flat and straight. And again, this is what they taught us in the class. You are going to take some concealer of choice. My Tarte Shape Tape. You're gonna take a little bit. You're gonna put it on your hand. And that's just gonna keep the concealer warm and keep it from drying up and getting too hard. And go under our brow. So just going in, filling it under and making a clean line. Like that. So just like that, you can see how much it already cleans up the underside of the eyebrow. Do the same thing on the other side, just go under. And the reason why I like this specific brush, which is from Sonia K from Target, is because it's very dense, and so I can't mess up even if I wanted to. Like, it's gonna keep me in the same spot. The brush heads, the brushes, and the hairs are super short. And so I can't change a lot about it. And then afterwards, you're just gonna go under and you're gonna blend it out. And you can use a new brush for that if you have a second brush. So that is also something that's different from my routine, is typically I'll just use my fingers. But I've seen that because the makeup artist taught us to use a brush, it's much cleaner. You notice that sometimes when I use my fingers, it can get a little patchy. Underside of brows are clean. The top part of the brow I rarely do, so this was very new to me when we were doing it in the class, but I do think it makes a huge difference, especially if you're doing brows before the rest of your face. All right, using another brush again, we're just gonna blend her out. As someone who, you know, grew up not wearing makeup, taking this class felt so special to me because it shows you that just because you didn't grow up doing it doesn't mean you can't learn, doesn't mean you can't get better over time, and that is just what we're trying to do. So eyebrows are carved and clean. I like to just use an eyeliner pencil. I actually need to order a new one to draw in strokes because this one's not very good, but it just helps define a few strokes at the front of my brow, which I just like. So those are my brows. That is done. Up next, normally I don't do eyeshadow. Today we're gonna do some because we were taught in the makeup class and I wanna show you guys what I learned. So what we're gonna do is we are going to take some concealer and we are just going to place it all over our lids because I don't have a primer and concealer works just as well. So we're just gonna place it all over our eyelids, making sure that we come all the way out here. This is the Tarte Shape Tape, hello, concealer. And this is in the color medium. I could have went lighter, honestly. This is a little dark. Ooh, I don't know why I put it directly on my eyelid. This is a little dark, even for me. So the rule of thumb, he said, is to go 2 shades lighter than your foundation. And this is probably 1 shade or the shade of my foundation, but that's okay. We don't waste makeup around here. And then of course, making sure I bring it all the way out, which is something I didn't do before. And we're just gonna blend, 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 blend. You can see the concealer. Now, another trick I used to do was I would immediately put setting powder on top of it because I was like, oh, smooth surface. And I was taught in this makeup class not to do that because what it does is essentially there are a lot of creases in our eyelids, and so when you put the setting powder, it can create more and dry it out. And so we're not gonna do that today. But though, it's this Pixi palette. And this is the Hazelnut Haze. And it's a little sparkly. This bad boy. I got this as a gift years ago. 3 brushes is all you need. You need a large one, a larger brush, a medium brush, and then a smaller brush for the darkest colors. And that's it. And the rest is just blending. And I'm over here like I need 6 brushes, blah, 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 blah. So we are going to start, actually this one's the largest brush. This one's the largest brush, my bad. We're gonna start with the largest brush. We're gonna take a light color. So we're gonna go in with this raw sienna. You can see how well used this palette is. Knock it off. And then we are going to go in the crease right here, going in circle motions. And he taught us to start here and make sure that we're moving in circle motions, holding the brush a little bit further. Ooh, she's dark. Oh, look, I need to blend. Holding it a little further from our eyes. Circular motions. Use a cleaner brush and just give her a little blend out above that line. So that base is on there. Do the same sides with the raw sienna again. Tap, tap. And then we're gonna go into circular motions again on this side. So the circular motions is definitely something new to me. It's not something I'm used to. I usually was taught to just go in a straight line, and by taught I mean my girls on YouTube. And so this is very new to me, and don't worry if it's messy because he did teach us the trick to clean up our eyes after. So I do like his style because for girls who are messy, aka me, you don't feel bad because even though it's a little messier, you're gonna clean it up. So you're not stressed. You're not stressed. Every time I do my makeup, my right eye looks beautiful, and then my left eye just struggles because I have a little bone protruding right here. That's okay. So we got both of our transition colors in. Just going in our little circles. And our little circles. Next, we're gonna use a slightly darker brown. I don't wanna go too crazy because I'm not gonna wear, you know, we're gonna do like a 50%. But we're gonna use this brown from this Pixi palette. Bark. And we're just gonna take some of that. Tap, tap, tap. Now, for the second layer of eyeshadow, we were taught to just go into the corner right here. Same thing, circles, but this time only bring it halfway up the crease. So only up to like there. Focus on just getting into that crease and only bringing it up halfway. 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 Just blend, blend, blending. And again, we're gonna use the same color, that bark. Tap, tap, tap. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Just into this corner. Go halfway. Maybe even less than halfway. Essentially, we're just adding a little more depth by adding darker color. And what I like to do is just even like poke my brush in here to really feel for that crease. Same thing on both sides. Also guys, I do repeat every step I do, like out loud. I hope that's helpful. It's just the way that my ADHD brain works. And we got a little gradient now. Now I'm gonna clean it out a little bit. Just a little bit. Trust the process, trust the process. Last but not least, we are going to use this tiny brush. And you can use any tiny brush, but I like the tiny fluffy ones. We're gonna take the color Cypress Umber, and we're just gonna take a little bit, tap, tap, tap. And this time we're really going into that tiny crease. I got that Cypress Umber. We're gonna go into this little corner again, right here. And this time we're gonna do the same thing, just in the corner and just up a little bit. And that is going to create a little more depth. Going up a little, into that crease, up a little. I really dig into there. Just go up halfway. Do the same thing on the other side. And we're gonna add a little bit in this corner. Wow, that's a lot, okay. And that is going to be blending for sure. And then we just bring it up halfway. Just wait. Just going to blend it out a little bit, not pulling it too far in, just enough. And a little bit here, and halfway, and halfway. And we're just gonna bring out any harsh line, blending it out. All right, once we've got the darkness in there, we are going to take our brush, and this one I'm using a flatter brush, and we are going to apply a lighter color. Now typically I go shiny if I'm going for a more extravagant look, but today, since we're just going about our daily life, we'll use this light color from Modern Renaissance. This is Tempera. I'm hoping for a matte look, but essentially what he taught us was you're gonna go inside from this inner eye, and you're just gonna go up halfway or less, really just patting it in. See how that just lightens that part without having to do all of the craziness of a cut crease. A little bit here in the inner corner. And what I learned that was a little different in this class as well was that we can bring it up a little higher into the crease. So not ridiculous, but I was bringing it way too low before, and that's why my shiny eye looks didn't really stand out. So we're just gonna bring it on the inner corner and then up to the crease, inner corner and up the crease. I'm gonna add a little bit of shine now just so you guys can see what it's supposed to look like. And I'm going to use the Vermeer from the Anastasia. I'm gonna go ahead and put some on here, tap, tap, tap. And same thing, we're just gonna go ahead and apply it to that inner, wow, that's pretty. And holy, that's so pretty. Do y'all see this? That's crazy. That is crazy. And then I'll just blend that a little bit with my fingers. Wow, that's so pretty. Look at the difference. And I think that has made the biggest difference, is like going a little higher, especially for my Asian eyes, because I just was making my eyes look just as tiny, but this color and this lightness and brightness just really opens up my eyes and just makes it look so much bigger, like doing my Asian eyes justice. All right, now the eyes shadow is done. The trick that he taught now was just to take a little makeup wipe and just go whoop, and clean her out. And that way, even if you drop makeup, it doesn't matter because you've cleaned her up. Well, look how clean that is. So I've always been a foundation girl first, but now that he's shown me it this way, I think it's just so much easier. And then we are going to go in with some tape for the eyeliner trick. So we're just using regular old Scotch tape, and you can get this on Amazon, Target, Walmart. And if you don't have tape, which sometimes you don't, I've used a Band-Aid, and you're just gonna place it right where the end of the eye is to the end of the eyebrow. I'll show you guys. So here to here, essentially. Just like that. And at first I thought this was a much higher angle than what I typically do, but after he did the eyeliner, it was just so helpful. Now, why am I sharing with you guys all of the tips that I learned from this makeup class? Because I couldn't afford it as a kid. I watched YouTube and, you know, I learned so much online, and now that I've taken a class that's valued at $500, and that's how much these people will pay to learn how to become makeup artists, I just want to share the tips I learned, and I want to give a huge shout out to Ricky, who hosted the makeup class, for doing such a great job. All right, so now that I've got my tape on both sides, we are going to take a angled brush for our angled brush, and we are going to do an eyeliner. Now you can either use the same kind of dark brown, that Cypress Umber, come on, hello, or you can take a black, which I don't think I own a black eyeshadow. So we are going to use that dark brown, that Cypress Umber right here. And we're going to essentially just follow this line of, just like that, of the tape. And what I love about this is we don't need to use liquid eyeliner, which is great for me because I am not the biggest fan of liquid eyeliner. And it's so quick. And we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. We're just gonna follow this line, coming down, giving it a little extra. Ooh, that's a little too extra. And then bring it all the way in. Now, he said not to bring it in to the inner eye because if you cry, if your eyes tear up, it's just gonna run down like a dark brown or black color, which is not what you want to spill into the rest of your makeup. There you go. And if you don't like how sticky tape can get, you can just pat it on your hand like this before you stick it on. I've done that as well. So that is the eyeshadow eyeliner. The next step that he added, if you want to do this for more of a dramatic look, is take a black eyeliner. Super affordable one. This is from LA Girl. And you can just put some on that inner waterline. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your finger, I'm gonna tilt it up. I know this looks crazy, and you don't have to do it this extra or this much, but I just want to show you guys. And then you are just going to line the waterline, much halfway like that. But you can see the difference. Like this eye just looks so much bigger. Do the same thing on the other side, lifting the eye, lid, doing the waterline. And for those of you who are scared to do that, which I used to be so scared, these are so much easier to work with than a liquid eyeliner. Do a little bit here. I probably won't bring it all the way. And if it gets smudged or whatnot, you can actually take your brush, your eyeshadow brush, and just like blend it out a little bit if you don't want it so dark or so noticeable and you want more of a natural look. Same thing, we're gonna put a little bit on this side. We're just gonna blend it out a little bit because I don't like harsh lines. It's funny because as a kid, I would be like, Mom, what is in your eye? Like, why is it so dark? And my mom had tattooed eyeliner, and I never understood why she couldn't wash it off, but now it makes sense. It just opens up your eyes, as you can see. So the final piece of the look will be the lashes. I want to put that on last just because I want to be able to like move around first, but we're going to the foundation now. And the mistake I made was I used to use this type of brush, which is like, has these stippling brushes, and that's what caused a lot of streakiness, and the artist was like, Amy, you can't do that. So what he recommended for your foundation brush is going to be this dense brush. Just nice and dense, and so it doesn't leave spaces between where the color is going. The foundation I'm using is the Luminous Silk. Hello, hola, here we go. And this is 5.25 with my callus-filled hands. And we're going to take a pump. And in this class, I learned not necessarily not to use, but not to rely on those like clear palettes, just because putting it on your hand keeps it warm and keeps the foundation and concealer just from drying out as quickly, and it saves product. So we're just gonna take some and we're just gonna brush it on. And he recommends going in like small circular motions across the face. A little bit for the forehead. And just really blending it out. Now, I've never been a big foundation girl, so I'm not really the type of person who uses a ton of product, but I will today so you can really see what the instructor taught us during the class. So I just did about a pump and a half, and after doing these like small motions of just like light circular, he said to just either use a blender or you can use the flat side of the brush, like this side, rather than going like this, go like this and just tap her in. The most important thing is to bring the foundation down your neck, because I normally don't do that. And I really like this tip. I also really like the fact that he said you can use a blender or a brush, but I've noticed with this dense brush, it really applies well. It's easy to use. So big fan, big fan. Next, I'm going to use this Pixi bronzer stick, and I was really overwhelmed by this before. I just didn't know how to use it, and so I was always scared, and I never used the product, and he showed us during the class. So essentially what you do is you feel your bone, right? And you put one straight line under the bone like that. Feel for the bone, go right under the bone like that. And then personally, I just like to add a little under the chin. That's just my personal preference, just a tiny bit. And the nose. And what's fun about these sticks is they're so easy to contour with. And then I just do a little here and a little under. Like fluffy brush. And I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, I got this from Temu for like $4 in a pack. And he'll just take some of it, he'll brush it off the top and then go upward. And we'll kind of brush it upwards where the line is. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna add a little bit of transition, but it's also going to blend out a little bit more of that bronzer, just a little bit. And this isn't going to be the main blend phase. This is just going to add a second transition essentially. And we're just gonna go up from that line and go upward. Now, the rule of thumb, he said, is not to bring the bronzer too far into your face, so not past this cheekbone. And going upward. Snatched. All right, and then we are going to take our foundation brush. Now, if you don't want to reuse your foundation brush because you don't want bronzer on it, you can use another flat brush. But if you tend to clean your brushes all the time, then it doesn't matter which one you use. So you're just gonna take your foundation brush and you're just gonna blend it out. Kind of wash your foundation brush every day. So I just blend it out. Now, if you're doing makeup on someone else and you're only using the brush for the day, he said that you can use that same foundation brush because you won't be using it again. And then I'm gonna blend my own nose contour. The nose contour was not taught in class because he mentioned that a lot of people don't like doing nose contour. I love nose contour. I broke my nose in high school and it's never looked the same. So I want my little nose back. I wish it wasn't bumpy, but it is what it is. And so you'll just blend that out up into the eyebrow a little bit. The hard part about this is since our eyebrows are done, we're not gonna wanna go too far up into our eyebrow, only because we don't wanna smudge and add eyebrow powder that's really dark onto our nose. So I will just blend out this bronzer. And you can see that my nose is more blended out. And then we are going to go in with our blush. I have been using this Luminous Silk blush, and we're just gonna go ahead and for this one, I'm gonna place it directly on my skin because it's mine. 1, 2, 3, just like that. 1, 2, 3. And what we're gonna do is essentially smile and aim for the high cheekbone parts in our cheeks. Kind of that little rosy area. And then we just kind of blend it up. We're going to take our blending brush or foundation brush again. And we're just gonna blend out that blush. And that's just gonna bring everything together again. All right, so now that we've blended it out with that same foundation brush, we are going to go in with a little bit of concealer. YSL Radiant Concealer. You can see right here, sorry it's a little dark, but it essentially looks like this. They just launched it. And we're just gonna take some concealer, and we were taught to put some up here on the forehead, down the center of the nose. And what's interesting is he skips this part. So that is different. And then he also taught us to put some here and down here, and then inner corner, wing area, inner corner, wing area. And he even said you can put more if you want to do a more dramatic look, but this is what we're working with. And then you're going to take a small brush, something small. This one again, Timu. And we're just gonna let it sit for a few minutes, but then we're gonna blend it out, going really nice and tight. And then up, blending that out nice and tight. Or maybe just a little bit too much. Voila. And this is, I asked why we blend it right here. And he essentially said that during photos, videos, we just want to highlight the points and not have it look like a moustache. And that's why they add concealer right there. Try to get it pretty spread out and nice and blended. Try to get it pretty spread out and nice and blended. Right above our brow. And you can see how much brighter my under eye is, and we are going to blend it out with our, again, foundation brush. Just know that if you use your foundation brush, you're going to need to wash it, because if you put foundation with it again, it's gonna have some bronzer on it. And we're gonna blend her out. Alright. Wipe my lips a little bit. Like that. Post concealer, we are going straight into powder. So I use my Ride or Die, and I've tried a ton. This is again the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'll show you the back, translucent powder. And this isn't translucent, I don't know what else to tell you guys. But I typically use one of these. I was taught in the class to just take a little bit on a brush, tap it off, and then go on the main high points, T-zone, under the chin, setting under the eye. And you could take more to set under the eye if you want. If you want to get a little closer and set like right where the concealer is. He said that that will help a lot with creasing. But making sure we really set under the eye. T-zone. Alright, so now that it is set. But I was taught in this class, and I'm gonna say that every single time so that you guys know that it's different from what I normally do. we were taught to use the bronzer and blush powders to set those areas so it doesn't essentially erase all the work that we've done. So we're going to take our bronzer brush. I actually have a smaller one, this one that I really like. Again, Temu. And we're going to take our bronzer. I'm using this YSL bronzer, but you can also use the very popular dupe, which is the Maybelline Fit Me powder bronzer. And we're going to just take some, tap tap, and then we're just gonna do the same kind of line here. Oh wait, was it even this brush? This brush is way too small. This brush. And take some. And we're just gonna really get in there and not be afraid to just get that bronzer in here, into the temples. Another thing that I learned was that you don't have to be afraid to like really go in there. I used to be like just one layer at a time, but he was just going in. And then same thing on the other side. All right, now that our bronzer is on, we are going to set our blush. This is my $7 e.l.f. palette, and I'm going to take this orange color in this corner right here. And we're just gonna take some, tap it off like you said, and we're just gonna bring it up and set this side as well. And he said to keep the powder here. I'm going to put a little bit on my nose because I like that look. And we're just really gonna blend it out into the hairline. And we're just gonna take a tiny sharp brush, take the highlighter, and we're just gonna create this line down the nose. This is also not something they did in class, but something that I just like to do. And we're gonna do a little line on the tip. Like that. Underbrow, so just right here. And right here. And if needed, you can fix up that eyebrow. Just get a little clean up. Now we're gonna do a little bit of lip action. This is the lip liner from Morphe, and it's in the color Soul Matte Other Half. And so we're just gonna line some of the top, some of the bottom. I'm not gonna go too crazy because this is a daily look. And then what he does is bring it, I can't talk while I'm doing my lips. He brings it a little further down. I guess we're gonna overline today because I messed up. Prisma Glass lip gloss. And we're just gonna do the inner heart. All right, friends, I have my lashes on. I forgot to say this, but in between the foundation and concealer step, he actually sprayed with setting spray using this more like liquid one. But then at the end, he does finish with the one size setting spray, and this is amazing. It's $36 at Sephora, but it smells like chemicals, but it works amazing. All right, we gotta go. So this is the finished look. And if you guys enjoyed this, I want to share so much more makeup with you guys as I learn and get better. So make sure you subscribe, comment, like, let me know what you want to see more of in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.